The Transformation of Statehood and Sovereignty in the United States, a Historical Perspective. Federal Reorganization and Corporate Statehood. On August 4, 1790, Article 1 of the U.S. Statutes at Large, pages 138 to 178, enacted a monumental shift in the structure of American governance. This statute effectively dissolved the original sovereign states of the Republic and reorganized them into federal districts. In response, the former states reconstituted themselves as corporate entities. Their respective legislatures drafted new state constitutions, this time without clear geographic boundaries, which were then presented to the public for ratification. The strategic purpose of these new constitutions was to subtly redefine the legal status of the people. By ratifying these documents, the populace unknowingly became citizens of corporate states, a term that, in legal parlance, refers to a corporate fiction rather than a living individual. This reclassification created a chain of legal and financial obligations that ultimately tied individuals to the debts of the federal government. The implications of bankruptcy and financial guarantee. The restructuring of state entities was a necessary response to the financial crisis facing the young nation. By January 1, 1788, the United States had entered a state of bankruptcy. The Founding Fathers, many of whom had personally benefited from Revolutionary War loans, required a mechanism to satisfy foreign creditors, particularly the British Crown. The corporate restructuring and the redefinition of state citizenship provided a guarantee to the king that the nation's debts would be honored. Without such a framework, these debts would have become the personal liability of those who had negotiated them. The emergence of constitutions of interdependence. A subsequent constitutional transformation occurred during the Clinton administration. This time, the documents were titled Constitutions of Interdependence. Although they echoed the language and tone of the Declaration of Independence, they conspicuously omitted the phrase "We the people." These revised constitutions functioned more as charters for public officials rather than as declarations of individual liberty. Critics argue that they served to fortify the authority of public servants under the framework of a globalist or New World Order paradigm. The public was not consulted on these changes, nor were they made aware of the implications. The mainstream media, complicit or negligent, failed to report on these shifts, thereby enabling the silent restructuring of governance. Citizenship, benefits, and corporate identity. The enticement of government benefits has been instrumental in perpetuating this corporate system. Each time an individual applies for such benefits, they inadvertently consent to a transformation, from a sovereign, living being into a corporate entity. This legal conversion renders the individual as government asset property, recorded as such for financial and administrative purposes. Historically, states provided protection, stability, and a measure of autonomy for the people. Over time, however, their primary function has shifted toward controlling the population's thoughts, bodies, spirits, and assets. Today, swearing an oath to uphold the Constitution may not signify allegiance to liberty, but rather submission to an administrative authority. Critics of this system assert that such loyalty oaths now serve to cement a hierarchical relationship between citizen and government, one that resembles servitude more than sovereignty. As one commentator summarized, "Slaves you are and slaves you will ever be, a stark reminder to reevaluate the origins and current implications of our civic structures."